Hello students, I hope you all are doing good and fine. So finally your ACCA exams are done. Now you can enjoy, you can chill. So maximum I say enjoy for 8 to 10 days. Take a good break. Do not be in the pressure, sir, what we have done, sir, whether we will pass or not. Keep it aside. You have done your hard work. It's done now. So do not think about that much. So now I say take a break of 8 to 10 days. Then uh, start studying for your next attempt, that is your March 2026 or your June 2026 attempt. So do not waste much time. Start with your preparation, like study for 2 or 3 hours per day or 2 or 3 hours per day. It's enough, not much. So in our today's video we'll be discussing your ACCA December 2025 SBR paper review, because I've received a lot of messages from the students saying कि sir paper lengthy था, sir paper was difficult sir, we got this question sir, हमको ये आया वो आया, sir whether we will pass or not. So let us discuss that, क्या था क्या नहीं था. चलो then, based on the poll which we have conducted in the group, many students have mentioned कि sir the paper was manageable. 10 students have mentioned कि sir manageable, 6 have mentioned difficult. When coming to the professional exams, I have seen that many students will say कि sir paper was moderate and difficult. It was okay, difficult भी था sir, ऐसे नहीं कि पूरा easy था, थोड़ा बहुत difficult भी था. And if you feel कि sir we will not pass etc., do not think about that. I have seen a lot of students saying कि sir we will not clear sir, what should we do etc. Wait for the result. In professional paper we have seen many students will say कि sir we'll get 35 40 only, but still they'll get 60 marks. You'll pass. So do not worry. If you have written relevant points, if you have related to the case, you will get marks. So many students have mentioned कि some moderate and difficult. When coming to your professional exams, it will be difficult only, manageable and difficult. ऐसे नहीं कि पूरा easy था. So some questions were manageable, some questions were difficult. Okay, no issues. Now before moving forward, few days back I had uploaded the ACCA prediction video. What will come? What is important for your December 2025? Out of that, the topics which are mentioned are very important, were tested in the exam. I mentioned regarding cash flow. Okay, cash flow was not tested in your consolidation. Consolidated cash flow did not come. But the section B, question number 4, was regarding cash flow. I mentioned that do not be surprised to see a question regarding IAS 2 and IAS 41. It was tested. It was tested. I mentioned IFRS 8 is very important operating segment. It was tested in one of the set. I also mentioned that IAS 19 is very important, but this attempt it was not tested. So the topic which I mentioned, IAS 19, was not tested. But other than this, IFRS 13 fair value also I mentioned it was tested. So let us see now. And one important point, as you know in ACCA there are 2 to 3 or 4 sets of paper, so it's very difficult to predict key what will come in the exam. But I have mentioned some 4 to 5 important topics, and those topics were tested. Now let us see in section A, sir. Section A, many students mention key, sir, consolidation. You also know key you will get consolidation. Other than this, nothing. Set 1 and set 2. In many students have mentioned, sir, we got consolidated P&L. And I mentioned also consolidated P&L is important and foreign operation is also important when we discussed in the prediction video. And that only was tested. See, in the P&L, students mentioned key, sir, it was subsidy to subsidiary. A disposal was that, sir, we had 70 percentage, we are disposing 10. So the adjustment was to NCF. We had to explain it and we had to calculate the amount. Easy thing, which we have done in our past papers also. We have done in a regular class also. And if you have studied somewhere else also, you would have done this topic. Yeah, the easy tha. So subsidy to associate. We had a subsidiary, we are disposing it off. So it becomes an associate. You had to explain and calculate the gain or loss. And it was at the year, it was not a mid-year, so it was not too tricky also. Then you had to draft P&L. Draft P&L was that, and this draft P&L had the adjustment regarding gain or loss and IAS 16. This attempt, I have seen a lot of questions regarding IAS 16. Last time we had seen regarding intangible asset and IAS 23. This attempt IAS 16. A very important standard of FR was tested in SBR in detail, like the revaluation gain or loss, where will you record the gain, where will you record the loss, at what value you will recognize the asset. All these adjustments were tested, and an investment property also was tested here. Based on the students feedback, I have mentioned these points. These are some of the points. If you have got some other set, you can comment in the comment section so that students get to know, okay, this adjustment also there in this question. Then consolidate. In the other set, it was a consolidated SOFP. In my prediction video, I mentioned cash flow and P&L. But cash flow, as I mentioned, every student got the cash flow question in question number 4. Here, they had given a consolidated SOFP, and the question was regarding foreign operations. And I mentioned in the class that foreign operation is very important. So see, IAS 21 foreign operation was tested, and here it was a draft version of your balance sheet, but entire balance sheet was not given. Only the equity part was given. Share capital, retained earnings, and NCI was given. And you also had to calculate the exchange difference, gain or loss on goodwill, gain or loss on net asset, and you had to prepare this one. You have to do the adjustment to the equity. It was a 10-mark easy question. Then there was a step acquisition question for 10 marks. You had to explain, you had to calculate also. So it was a step acquisition from associate to investment. You had to explain as per IFRS 9, it is treated at fair value through P&L or OCI. Gain or loss is recorded in P&L or OCI. Dividend is recorded. Then once we have purchased additional shares, it becomes an associate, significant influence, IAS 28, single line adjustment, and what is the value? Easy questions. I think consolidation was not tricky, but many students mentioned कि सब paper lengthy था. It was difficult to manage. Okay, no issues. But if you have done basic part of this, you will get marks. No issues there. So when coming to consolidation, these are the points which students have mentioned regarding this. These were the topics that were tested. I think kuch out of the box nahi tha. It was manageable. All these questions we have seen in the past papers. We have done in our regular batch. We have done basic questions. Then we have done 12 to 14 exam kit questions also regarding this. Then coming to ethics. When coming to ethics, it was a surprise for me also because many students mention different types of question in ethics. See, in one of the set, a question was regarding cash flow hedge. The green one, which I mentioned here, were already predicted in your this one, in your prediction video. So cash flow hedge was for 4 marks. It was very easy. You had to mention it was linked with your financial instruments, and you had to mention ineffective part, effective part, how much will be recorded in P&L and OCI. Then revenue, step number 1, whether it's a contract or not. If you remember, we have also done a question regarding this in our regular class, as well as हमने exam kit में भी question किया था इसके बारे में. So it was easy on ethics, and ethics for 10 plus 2 marks profession. Students mentioned कि sir, ethics there was no such problem other than this cash flow hedge. If you have done cash flow hedge properly, then ethics में कुछ इतना problem नहीं था. It was easy and manageable. Then other set, in one of the set, student mentioned कि sir, we got IFRS 16 operating or finance lease with ethics. Some students got operating or finance lease. Other students, other set students I mentioned, we got operating segments. Many students mentioned ki sir, we got operating segments and ethics. In operating segment, it was reportable segment. We had to identify whether the aggregation is right or wrong. Whether the aggregation is right or wrong. It was the question regarding that. And this also I had predicted in my video mentioning that IFRS 8 is very important for December attempt. Then in one more set, students have mentioned, sir, we got IFRS 80 aggregation. And if you remember, in a regular class, at the end, we have done this because I mentioned theory part, you will forget if we do at the start, and we have done at the end. And this also was tested for 12 marks. They had aggregated the impairment of goodwill within administrative expenses. But your IFRS 18 says what? We have to classify the expenses based on nature and function. And they mention that some items we can't aggregate it. We have to disclose it separately. Like when you impairment loss, gain or loss, we have to show it separately because it provides a better presentation for 12 marks. These two sets were very rare, this one and this one. Many students got this one and this. These are the two sets which many of the students got. Then, sir, here IFRS 16 also was tested here in operating and finance lease, and ethics part was tested along with this one. Goodwill and ethics. The accountant has done some wrong accounting or the wrong presentation, you have to correct it. Then coming to the question number 3, your section B, a very important part of your SBR. In your question number 3, most of the time we have seen IS and IFRS only coming. So in the first set, many students mentioned, sir, we got a question regarding IFRS 15 revenue. It was a 12-mark question, and it was regarding consignment arrangement. It was regarding consignment arrangement, and warranties also was tested. Warranties also was tested. It was a question regarding motor car. And the same example I've taken in the class bete regarding motor car. और वही आया, ऐसे नहीं कि कुछ नया आया. It was the same thing. Then, sir, we got IFRS 16 leases for 8 marks. And it was regarding finance lease or operating lease and manufacturing and lesser. Many students mentioned, sir, we got manufacturer and lesser, and we got financing or operating lease. A question was a very good question. It was an individual, a company is giving an asset on lease to an individual, and in individual also two cases were there. Two cases were there. And to a company, it was regarding some institute. I don't know, but students have mentioned, sir, it was regarding a manufacturer and lesser case. Then in the same question, you had IS 20 government grant. It was that we are into EV manufacturing. The government is giving us a grant. How we will record it? And I mentioned in the class that do not be surprised. Ki sir, government grant and agriculture, your IS 2041 could be tested, and it was tested for 4 marks. I think this question also was manageable. The consignment, warranty, year operating. This manufacturer and lesser. In a regular class, I mentioned we have done this. But many students have not done this topic. कोई issue नहीं. कोई issue नहीं. But the other part was easy only, no? It was manageable. Then it's a set to. In the set to, many students have mentioned me these topics and it was jumbled. Some set had this, etc. The first question was regarding business combination, asset or a business acquisition. Whether it's an asset acquisition or business acquisition, output, input, process, we had to explain a very easy and a straightforward question. When we have done a consolidation part also, you have to normally do this. Then sustainability disclosure with qualitative characteristics. A basic question came regarding that. Then many students mentioned, ki, sir, we got IFRS 9, investment in loan notes. We are doing some investment in loan notes and the accounting was for 11 marks. Here you had to explain the business model test, contractual cash flow test, and you had to conclude that it is at fair value through OCA. Based on the feedback of the students, I'm mentioning it is fair value through OCA because it was for short term and we are selling it. And we are selling it and we have the intention of selling it if we have a better opportunity. That is the reason. Then fair value measurement in some of the set. See, understand that in one of the set this was tested, this and your IS 41. And some students also got these two questions also. Some students also got these two questions also. So sustainability and then fair value measurement, your IFRS 13. And I mentioned IFRS 13 was very important, your highest and best use. In fair value, I've seen there are 4 to 3 types of question that usually comes in the exam. Out of that, one question was tested. IS 41 also came for agriculture and many students were blank in this. Ki sir, हमने तो किया ही नहीं. We have not done this topic. Government grant also we have not done. I mentioned in the regular batch also, I mentioned to my SBR students also, it's important that your FR base is good. Because this attempt we have seen IAS 20, IAS 41, IAS 16. A lot of questions were regarding IAS 16. IAS 16, a lot of questions were tested. Your basic revaluation, cost model, depreciation, etc. So this was your question number 3. It was manageable. It was not out of the box. Then your question number 4, the last question. And in most of the set, the question was repeated only. It was not different. The question was same. IAS 16. What all is included in the cost? PP, 6 mark question. Borrowing cost also was tested here. A borrowing cost was also there in this. And it was easy and manageable. As I mentioned, your part 1, which is your FR part, should also be good because as mentioned, FR part is also tested for 10 to 12 marks and it was tested. Then cash flow adjustment, some wrong adjustments were done in operating profit. Your operating category, we had to correct it. It was for 8 marks. And then the other 9 mark question was regarding the explanation of this cash flow. You have to calculate these ratios. Some had ratio regarding cash flow. Excuse me. Some other ratio and some other set had regarding debt ratio. So you had to explain this from the point of view of bank, from the point of view of a bank. So this question number 4 also I think was manageable. Ye to easy tha. This adjustment here and there some mistake many students have done, no issues. But if you have explained the ratios properly and the formula also was given, you have to just take the numbers and calculate it and explain it. So इसमें किसी को doubt नहीं था. Then one set had these questions in section B, question number 4. This was the other set. Students had question regarding IFRS 15 at point in time or over point in time. Then IFRS 15 financing component also was tested. Many students have mentioned this. Sustainability report was tested for 14 marks. Metrics and targets about greenhouse gases. So this also I mentioned in the class that it is important greenhouse gases, your IFRS S1 and S2 and your matrix, your content which we should provide. So with this was an overall review, the topics which were tested. And I also say that the paper was manageable and it was little bit difficult. Little. इतना नहीं कि पूरा डिफिकल्ट था पेपर, सम टॉपिक्स वर लिटिल बिट ट्रिकी एंड इट वाज लेंदी. एंड इन प्रोफेशनल एग्जाम यू नो कि सर पेपर लेंदी होता ही है, इट इज लेंदी, यू हैव टू मैनेज योर टाइम प्रॉपरली. So when we guide students also, when we say regarding professional paper, time management is very important. And if you know the basic of that concept also, if you know the basic of any concept, you should be open to think. You have to think and write down. Even though your answer is wrong, still you will get marks. So with this, your paper review is done. I hope this has helped you regarding, okay, sir, paper was manageable only. If the paper was difficult for you, for others also it will be difficult. Do not think कि सर मेरे को ही difficult लगा, नहीं. अगर difficult था, सबके लिए difficult था. If it was manageable and moderate, it was moderate and manageable for each and every student. Understand that. So now take break as mentioned, enjoy for 10 to 12 days, take good break, and then get back to your studies for your March or June attempt, whichever you're planning. And book the exam slots, because we have seen that the exam slots are getting filled very fast. So book it so that you need not waste time. As you know, remote exams are not available now. You can't give any remote exams. So focus on that. So then coming to our upcoming batches for March and June. So the batches are starting from the next week. You can connect with me or with Chinmay sir. You can connect with me 6361764852. Any doubts regarding FR or SBR, you can connect with me. The batches are starting from the next week. The first 5 classes are demo classes, free of cost. You can attend the demo. If you like the classes, you can enroll for the classes. No issues in that. And understand one more important point. If you enroll in our classes, let's take you have given the exam in December. Sir, we did not clear it. Sir, can we give in March? Yes. Or you can give in June again, the same paper. Sir, can we attend the June batch? Can we attend the June batch classes? Yes, better you can attend that. You need not pay any additional fees, etc. You can attend the classes. If you're not able to clear your paper, you can attend the live classes until you clear your paper. But let me say, if you need the recording of that latest batch, you have to pay 1,000 rupees extra. So this is your ACCA SBR paper review. I hope you have understood, ki sir, the paper was manageable and moderate only. And any queries regarding upcoming batches, you can connect with me or Chinmay sir, and you can let us know, ki sir, we are planning for this paper, so you can attend our demo classes. If you like, you can enroll for the classes, and you'll have full support. We'll be doing a lot of questions in the class. Till the end, support will be there. Until you clear your paper, support will be there. So with this, let me end the session, and do not worry much about the results. Just stay calm, enjoy, take a break. You have done, you can't do anything now, you can't change your answer, etc. Now wait for the result, everything will be good. Once you get your results, if the revision marathon which we have conducted was helpful, or my YouTube videos were helpful, so please message me saying, sir, this video helped me, this small part which you mentioned in the class, this helped me to clear my paper. It will be very good for me, and it will motivate me also to upload more videos regarding your SBR and FR. So bye bye, have a good day, signing off, Radhe Radhe to everyone.